Hey there, it's Ken Michaels, host of the show Mortgage Makeovers and the Ken Michaels Show. All right, here's the most sensitive topic of all, and this is where consumers get lost. Time to bring you back to reality. Closing costs. Oh my gosh. How much are these loans going to cost me to get? What are points? Why do I have to pay an appraisal up front? I hear it all the time. And what do you know to be the truth about closing costs? Where do these fees go? Who makes this money? And why are some lenders at no fees and other lenders charge fees? And if one lender's at no fees, why can't the other lender be at no fees? Here comes the truth. And mortgage people are not going to like this video. The consumer, you're going to love it. Listen to me. Closing costs are not necessarily bad. It depends what they're for and how they're being used. Here's what I mean. You will have lenders that will offer you a loan at no points. Nothing wrong with that. Typically, a lot of lenders will charge you no points for a certain interest rate. Look, it would be like me buying this red shirt. If I buy this red shirt at a wholesale store and I resell that shirt to you for a different amount, I make a profit. Well, lending is kind of the same way. If you want a certain rate at no points, you can do that if it's available. And then if you say, well, I want a better rate, then a lender's going to charge you points to buy that rate because it costs them more money to buy that rate as well. So that's why they charge you points. Now, points are not bad. They're tax deductible to you. Not bad. Here's my advice on points. You should only pay points on a loan if you're using those points to buy the rate down. In other words, the 0-point rate is usually a pretty good rate. Here's what you have to be careful of on 0-point loans with some lenders. Some lenders will charge you 1 point for a rate. And you'll say, okay, what if I pay no points? Okay, then they'll charge you a higher rate. Here's the problem. That lender's higher rate at no points might be too high. You might be able to get a lower rate at no points somewhere else. Closing costs are not what you think they are. They're not garbage or junk fees. Know this, and I'm a consumer advocate and I'm always for the consumer, but know this. Lenders have expenses to process loans. They pay a receptionist to answer your call. They pay a loan agent to handle the actual loan. They pay a loan processor to process that loan. They pay an underwriter to underwrite the loan. They pay a funder to fund the loan. Think about it. And a shipper to ship the loan to Wall Street. So it's not like they don't have expenses. They do. And legitimately, like anything else, if you go to a restaurant, you order food, you think the price of what you're ordering, of the item you're ordering, that price, what's figured in there, is the cost of rent, the cost of food, all that kind of stuff, so they can make a profit. Lending's the same way. But some fees are unreasonable and some fees are simply a ripoff. Okay? For example, if a lender charges you fees to lock a loan in, lock-in should be free. If they charge you a fee to lock in, don't lock in. Don't use that lender. They're going to rip you off. No point, no lending fee loans are good loans. Very good loans, as long as the rate's good with it. Don't let a lender bamboozle you into a higher rate at no points when you can get a lower rate at no points somewhere else. Shop around. Shop around. Ask the right questions. But I don't want you to think for a minute that closing costs are necessarily bad. They aren't. There are some closing costs that are standard. Paying an appraisal up front, standard in the industry. It's policy. That's how it goes. Don't complain about it. It is what it is. Be quiet and pay the appraisal. End of story. Okay? Closing costs are not a bad thing. Sometimes no points, no fees are great. Sometimes paying points and fees are great. Some fees are tax deductible. Some fees aren't. But here's what I want you to know. Use the fees to your benefit. Like I said earlier, buy your rate down. Buy it down. You pay 1 point. Push the rate down further. That money you pay to buy down the rate, tax deductible. And they can use the point from your equity. You don't have to pay it out of pocket. Don't be silly. Don't argue about closing costs all the time. Sure, there's a limit. Here's what I want to close with right now. Take your total closing costs. Divide it by what you're saving in a new payment. If you can recoup your closing costs in 48 months or less, you're doing great. That's a great deal. If you recoup your closing costs in more than 48 months, renegotiate your deal with your lender. There you go. There's a good tip for you. 48 months is your typical general rule. Okay? So, if you're going to pay points, use the points to buy the rate down. Use the points to buy the rate down. Okay? If you're happy with the no point, no fee rate, and you're happy with what the payment's going to be at that rate, that's always the best deal. Take it. Sometimes opportunities present themselves whereby paying 1 point or 2 points, the rate is bought down so low that it's an astonishingly low payment. Take that deal. Why? Because buying down your rate, that money you're using to buy down your rate from your equity, tax deductible to you. So essentially, Uncle Sam is paying for a lower rate for you. Win-win, consumer. Don't let lenders sell you on paying points. That's your option, your choice. You ask the right questions. Every time you call a lender for a loan, call them and say, what is your no point, no lending fee rate? They'll give you a rate. Then say, if I pay 1 point and buy the rate down, what would it be? They'll give you a new rate. Run the payment at both rates. Run the savings. If you can recoup that 1 point in the savings within 36 to 48 months, buy it down. If not, take the 0.0 fee loan. Okay? I'm Ken Michaels, host of the show Mortgage Makeovers and the Ken Michaels Show. It's your money. You're welcome. Bye-bye. One more thing. You'll see a series of videos that will be appearing every week, educating you, the first-time home buyer or the existing homeowner currently, and I will be educating you on mortgage finance, real estate, credit, and I'll even take questions at my website, www.radioken.com. Don't forget to tune into my local radio show. If you go to my website, there is a place where you can see where the show's airing in whatever market you're in. And lastly, there's a book out on Amazon to help you. Check out my new book, Cashing Out Your Equity. It's $2.99. Click the link below. Go to Amazon. Get it now.